Our top story tonight, a local school district reacts to the transgender bathroom controversy. Good evening, I'm Linda Weed. President Obama is directing public schools to permit transgender students access to bathrooms that match their gender identity. But many local districts, including Elanco, are choosing not to follow the specific guidelines. News 11's Sarah Veronis joins us now live in the studio after speaking with Superintendent Dr. Bob Hollister. Sarah.
Linda, like all district leaders, Dr. Hollister of Elanco received an official letter from the U.S. Department of Education with guidelines on how to make sure transgender students are not discriminated against when using the bathroom. But Dr. Hollister says Elanco has their own policies already in place.
What the president did, I'm not really sure what the purpose was. Schools have been managing this situation for years.
Guidelines issued by the federal government regarding transgender bathroom use at public schools are being questioned by district leaders, including Dr. Bob Hollister of Elanco.
All of this is very unsettled. Just because the president threw that out there, the guidelines are vague.
In the letter from the Departments of Justice and Education, public schools are obligated to allow students to use the restroom of the gender that they identify. And if schools don't comply, funding could be cut.
Our funding is threatened all the time for every issue, and it never happens. I'm not worried about the funding being threatened.
Dr. Hollister says he is aware the guidelines are aimed at providing a non-discriminatory environment, but believes they could infringe on the safety of all students.
Parents would be very alarmed. Students themselves would be alarmed if a member of the opposite sex biologically walked into a bathroom. That's a scenario for trouble.
And although Elanco is not going to implement the new bathroom policy at this time, they do accommodate transgender students. They have bathrooms like this one here. It's gender neutral and private.
We've had a small handful of transgender students or students who identify themselves that way. We've managed it very well. With a private bathroom.
School district solicitors are reviewing the letter at this time, and Dr. Hollister says he will continue working with students and families on an individual basis to accommodate their needs and the rights of all students.
Protecting the individual rights of every child. We have skills in that, and sometimes it's tough, but school districts in general are able to thread that needle pretty well.
Now, the letter states that requiring transgender students to use the same-sex bathrooms violates Title IX. Elanco says until the guidelines become law, they will continue their current procedures. Live in the studio, Sarah Veronis, News 11.